Next up, we're going to talk about the Ubisoft Press Conference, initial reactions. And Rich, what was your initial reactions of Ubisoft?
It's interesting. It's okay all around. I think they had some missteps on some things. Again, you said before, safe, or as I would say, lazy. The major problem with the live shot, that was completely uncalled for.
And we'll get into that as well. But I think that's the same meaning, what we're trying to say, with lazy and safe.
Yours is a more positive spin on it. Mine is, no, you know how to do this. I've seen you do it. Well, I don't know why you can't do it again. That's why I'm cynical about it.
Yeah. And Mo, what was your initial?
I'm actually in the same boat. Say it was. I felt like there should have been more of a wow factor, and so it just wasn't there. So, yeah, I mean, there was one key title there that excited me, and then the rest of them kind of were like, yeah, okay, I expect it.
I was actually impressed with their press conference. Their lineup. I think they have an incredible lineup of games. How they presented some of those could have been better.
Maybe that's what I'm going for. Like the presentation was
which is what we're talking about. Is the press conference, the presentation of how they presented it.
Yeah.
But I think some of their surprises, which I will get into, got me really excited, and more gameplay of certain games I'm already excited for, but wanted to see more because their list of games are incredible. For the next 6 months of games that they have is just non-stop games that I want to play, and I think they showed some great gameplay trailers as well. Not just cinematic trailers, but actual gameplay of those games that got me excited. One was a huge fucking misstep of a big game, which we'll get into. Fuck. Don't show anything outside the fucking room ever again.
Spoilers. Jeez.
Yeah. We'll get into in detail. I know Rich and I will probably be one of our biggest disappointments. So I'll let Rich, because that's one of his favorite series.
I'm pretty sure I know where you're going with this. So.
But I'm still excited. I really loved their games and how they showed it. But again, absolutely, I agree. There's been some missteps. Could it have been better? Could they have knocked this? Could they? Might get a little ahead of ourselves. They could have easily won E3. And that might give away of they might still be our winner, but they could have made it hands down Ubisoft with their lineup that they have and that they shown.
And they had one of the greatest moments for the companies where you saw the potential if people are doing things the right way.
Yeah.
Which works for all of us, fanboys and hardcore
and the
sims.
big surprise at the end that everyone's been waiting for and been calling. Same thing with Metroid Prime 4. Every year, everyone has to do some guess, and we're always wrong. Same game, but we'll get into. So those are our initial reactions. We'll start with you, Rich. What was something that stood out to you the most at their press conference?
I was already at day one for Far Cry 5, but watching that stuff, I'm even more excited.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Really good.
And that's what I was talking about. Gameplay. Not a cinematic trailer. They actually showed a gameplay of natural
But it looked good. The way it was presented was good, which part of it is we're grading on a curve because of how bad it goes on later. But... And again, they were letting you know that we've given you some details, but then they throw in like, and here's how the dog's going to work, and now you're going to have a sniper too, and then here's your air support that we showed in the last trailer. So you're like, okay, you're building slowly. You're letting me know that I don't know exactly everything to expect in this, that you're setting it, and how brutal that whole thing looked when they're dragging the people and like baseball batting them in the back of the head. You were setting that stage.
So good. And then they also, like, the co-op.
Yeah.
You're like, here's co-op. Here's two-player co-op, storyline. It felt strategic. It felt good gunplay. It felt like it's smooth. Everything.
Far Cry has always been tight with the gunplay.
It showed they know their game, but they also know how to take it one step beyond, so they're constantly improving, as opposed to what we've...
Like
not
Call
just
of Duty.
us,
but like Call of Duty.
Well, and let's be honest, Assassin's Creed has kind of gotten that reputation of it's just more of the same every year. Yeah. So,
I thought it was impressive. Very impressive. I was happy.
Which I think it's a day one for
all of us.
Come out on a date. It would be easy for me to do day one with February 27th. I think that's a great release day. I think I said last week I think Horizon actually showed you can be very successful in the month of February.
Yes.
Yep.
And Far Cry 5, I think, will be as successful as Horizon with that date. That looked incredible. Even more excited for that game. And Mo.
I'm actually gonna say I'm gonna start with how they started it, and this may get a little bit. It's not as an emotional feel, but the Mario with the rabbits. Okay, they had Nintendo come out. He even said, "We've never cooperated with you guys because we saw you as a competition." And then they said, "Now it's not the time for that. We need to incorporate more third party." Applause, Nintendo.
Yep.
Good fucking step.
And it's just 10 years overdue.
That's what's important to me as a keynote, as a gamer. That means a lot.
To eat that humble pie.
Yes, humble. And then incorporate, and they're excited to be working with this on a title that Rabbids was never really part of something that they always used for, like, their Wii controllers or whatever controllers, live interaction. This is a different type of game. I'm excited for it. I love strategy games, and the way that they built on it and they incorporated both Mario and also the Rabbids was kind of innovative to me. Like I like the fact that they're using like the Mario world, but they're entering Rabbids, and it has a storyline to it. That you're trying to save the world from the evil Rabbids and whatever.
Well, and Nintendo gave up control. They let Ubisoft do the programming.
Exactly.
They gave them the IP. That was
for
good.
them to come out and actually shake hands. Really big, important keynote.
Which is exactly what I've been complaining. I was looking for those moments.
Big keynote. And it wasn't even based off of the Nintendo conference. This was on Ubisoft conference.
Yep.
Better. Even better.
Which has been happening because they were on the Apple press conference, which was huge when they announced Super Mario Run last year.
Yeah.
Like, I think that might have been right off the bat they started it. But Miyamoto went on stage like, holy shit.
So I know that Ubisoft has a lot of great games coming out, but to me that was very humble and respectful and what they're looking for. That's what I wanted to see. That's what I expected. Did not see that coming at all. I did not.
We expected the game, but not the actual Miyamoto coming. Yeah. And actually said, I wanted them to make a Mario game that's never been made before.
Yeah.
Make that completely different. That was
innovation.
The challenge.
That for me, it pulled on my heartstrings a little bit. I was like, good. This is what I want from Nintendo. This is what needs to be done on their as a corporation and as a side, trying to bring in more developers. Important, really big, important. So that was my biggest thing. It's a little bit out there, but out of all the games I can mention, like I just like that part in the press conference. That was my big end. So
I just think Other M set them back a few years. On it. They let Team Ninja have Metroid. Another, like, we want to work with you, and then how Other M just totally was botched.
Yeah, but the way that Sigma had done so bad.
Yeah.
They should have known, like, that studio was already having problems.
Yeah, and the fact that they're happy with what they're doing with Mario and Rabbids, then, I mean, that shows a lot. And it looks promising to me. A lot of people may not buy into that. That's cool. But the strategy people that are out there, that are looking for strategy games, because there's not a lot of them out there, to tell you the truth. They're far and so few.
Yeah.
That markets to them, and there's a market for it. So
a different type of Mario game.
Got me.
Announced the release date August 29th. Yeah. It's coming very soon.
I will be buying that. That's a day one. Heather is like approved. She's like, this is different. This is something I want to play.
Which I give is something I won't purchase, but I give credit for them to come up with a new, different type of game. It's a strategy game, but I think strategy game there's a market.
If you ever want to try it, I'll let you borrow it because I'm getting it. I'm telling you right here, right now. So.
What stood out to me, which was my surprise, which is something I really enjoyed about these press conferences, I wasn't expecting it, was Skull and Bones. Is why Sea of Thieves is dead to me.
Yeah.
After I saw this trailer, about first 2 minutes into this trailer, like, Sea of Thieves, who?
Yeah.
As in, wow. Fall 2018 Skull and Bones. So this is the pirate game I would want to play. I know that, I guess the artistic direction isn't something we would want in Sea of Thieves. Because I know, like, it doesn't really interest me with that art direction that they're going with. It's that more fun, campy pirate. I want a fucking serious. Like, I didn't play Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I guess we'll get into that.
Mm-hmm. It started in 3 is where they first started playing.
Yeah. Oh, 3?
4 is where it was really a main focal.
So 3 was like the test run. Oh shit, this is.
It shows that Ubisoft is basically paying attention to how those games were built taking what they had for Black Flag, and then adding those ships and upgrades, and then you start putting something like that out. That was like, holy shit! I want this fucking game. Like that's what it made me do.
They kind of do that. So like when you do some of the puzzles in Assassin's Creed like 2 and 3 a little bit, where you're especially 3 and there's a big emphasis in 4 where you're doing weird things. That's actually kind of the same mechanic that they do in Watch Dogs for the hacking when you're trying to move the pipes around to make the circuit complete.
Yes.
That's kind of what they had already done in Assassin's Creed. So they tried out this whole thing. They were like, imagine that as a whole game. And that's what this is.
It pays off.
Yeah.
And the whole customization of the ship, I found to be exciting. I love customizing my own. Like
it makes it your own. Like this is my ship. And
co-op,
did they
say
it was shared universe, or it was just co-op?
No, it was co-op only. I think because what they showed was 5 versus 5.
Okay.
They didn't want to show too much. They wanted to show you like the mechanics.
It's fall 2018. We have plenty of time. We'll see it again next year.
So.
But I like that blend, which is what I wish Bethesda did. The blend of games coming out this year and games coming out next year, and even beyond next year. Because the game that closed out, it will not be coming out 2018, more likely. But that got me really excited. It looks fantastic. It looks great, the art direction. I would want the strategy. And they talked about the strategies involved in that 5v5 and like the wins as well to set the sails of how to get away. Like, that looks amazing. So that's my pirate game.
The one thing that I noticed from that game was the shanties, where some were from Black Flag as well. But I mean, those are original true shanties anyways. So to incorporate that was just pretty cool. I was like, it made me feel like I was in that world. You know, it was good done on you. That I applaud that.
Great surprise, really, Skull and Bones. I know people are gonna say, "Oh, it's a Sea of Thieves ripoff," where they're going, but
no,
I think it's an Assassin's Creed ripoff, but done the right way.
It's Ubisoft,
but it's their property, so whatever. I'll play it, and I love the fact that it's 5 versus 5 as well. Well, what they showed on there, it was 5 versus 5, and you, depending on what ship you have, also changes the game. So
the strategy involved. I'm really excited. That was a great surprise, and that caught my attention. So it's disappointments at the press conference. Rich.
Assassin's Creed.
It looks so good on that the glary TV. That looked real 4K right there. So why, Rich? Why was it disappointing? This is a game you've been waiting for. Like we saw it at the Xbox.
I wish I'd seen some gameplay. I could actually give you an informed opinion, since I heard it looks awesome according to the presenter, but I couldn't see anything. I even went into my Eagle Vision, but I didn't pick up anything. I don't know. It's just me, I guess.
Holy shit. I can't believe they still went with that, knowing how glary that television was, that screen.
It was...
That's not even a film school kind of director's kind of fuck up. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how
that was senior high school filming.
I don't even know... I don't know why you feel it needs to be live. Do pre-tape. I don't care. I just want to look good. It's a sales pitch. When you're trying to do very targeted marketing... You don't do it off the hip unless you're very experienced where you know how to do that. You know, like The Rock. He's cutting a promo. He's done it enough times that he can go out there and kind of do stuff. But he even has some jokes in his back pocket.
Well, when it's not written in his hand.
Exactly. But he's prepared, right? But you can't just, 30 seconds... Hey, Mo, go out there and tell me why you hate John Cena. And you're like, I don't even know who John Cena is. Yeah. Well, I need you to talk for 5 minutes about why he's a douchebag. I'm going to beat him up. You're not selling anything. You're not getting the message across. And especially in a visual medium, if you can't fucking see, I don't know why I'm even having to have this statement.
And Assassin's Creed partnered with Microsoft to show off the 4K. So the Microsoft Press Conference, I don't think we did mention, because we're waiting for this.
Yeah.
So they did show it off, and they're promoting the Xbox One X with that 4K. So they did have the gameplay demo on the Microsoft.
But we couldn't, you can't, we brought it up before, you can't really see 4K. So
4K is not done very well in press conferences.
Yeah.
And you can't tell the difference.
So then I'll fall back on the other stuff. I like the setting. It really appeals to me. But storyline stuff, I don't really know too much other than they're going to answer questions that none of us had. Like, we took it as just a game mechanic, the Eagle Vision, and there's been hints here and there. I was never clamoring of, I need a whole game where I was told that one of my ancestors had a special bond with an actual eagle, and then something happens that has that imprinted on our entire genetic line. I don't need a game about that. You want me to assassinate the pharaoh? There you go. There's your idea. But this other stuff, you're going off the path. And if that's not what the focus of it is, then I shouldn't have 35 fucking minutes of gameplay of a drone. Because that's what the eagle is a drone. That's it. Anyways.
So if you didn't see the press conference, so they're showing Assassin's Creed, then they went in the outside of someone playing it, and they said, "Oh, it's on an Xbox One X."
You need a 3-person announce team.
Xbox One X playing it, and then about 30 seconds in, the motherfucker knew that this was looking shitty, and Richie brought it saying, "Don't worry about the glare. It looks amazing, even with the glare on the television, because you cannot."
Hey, person
tell.
I've never heard of before. I'm glad you said that. Yeah. Now I can take you at your word.
You cannot tell, like, oh, it's on the Xbox One X. It looks like it was on the Xbox 360. I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. Oh, it's Xbox One X. Like, you could lie to me.
I thought it was PSP exclusive.
Yeah.
I was a guy on the fucking... That's guy 3 rows up on the fucking bus.
It could easily be done on a 360, and I would not have been able to know. I had no... I just saw a fucking eagle and a glare throughout the entire... So that was done terribly on a game, I think...
Well, especially when you're getting the... It's a very bright daylight setting, and it's supposed to have the light reflecting off of the sand, so it's already going to be kind of glary, even in pitch black conditions. And then you decide to go outside. Thank God there wasn't wind that day, because we wouldn't even be able to hear him tell me how awesome it looked. I wouldn't have had anything. You should just do these press conferences in Braille, and it'd be much easier. I could just, oh yeah, my ancestors, you're right. Douchebags.
I think we're in the Assassin's Creed topic on that one. But will you still be purchasing it day one?
Probably, because I'm so invested in the IP, but I will tell you that was so poorly handled, and it seems like what we've complained about, and I've tried to be like, I hope they're not doing this. It does seem like more of the same. So it might not be a day one purchase. It'll be a purchase and I play it, but I might not pay full price. And I'm Mr. Yeah. I want the developer to have that because I know that's research and development costs for the next game. No, I might wait for a fucking sale or pick it up in the used bin, and I never purchase from the used bin, so.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed, they need to hit it out of the park with this game.
2 years off, and that's when you came back with?
2 years off.
They should take 2 years off of their press conference. Maybe they'll have a good fucking idea. Jesus.
Assassin's Creed Origins. We're excited. We're excited.
I can't wait. You know what? That's the best part. Because Aisha will come back maybe a year or two from now and be like, so, what happened while I was gone? And we'll all laugh. And then she'll be like, guess what? We're actually going to show you games. And we'll all laugh again. And then they'll actually maybe blow it out of the water. But we got to wait another fucking year for that opportunity. Thank you. Well done, Eve.
All right, and Mo, what were you most, as I come over on this side, what were you most disappointed about?
So, after Rich, I don't know what to follow up with. No, there was a few minor complaints from my side. One was the crew. I know some people probably looking for that, but I felt like they should have had another announcer too. I wish Aisha Tyler did the whole thing, actually. Would have been probably handled better for announcing the actual games. The crew, I felt bored. I'm sorry.
Not what I expected from a rowing simulator, so that's awesome. The crew. But I'm trying to recover from my aneurysm I just experienced on air.
When they first announced the first crew game, I was like, okay, this is something I might look into. I might want to buy, want to purchase. Like, it was a maybe for me. This one, I'm just like, ooh, it just looks too
bland.
Kind
of sold itself better to you, though, you were saying.
It sold to me. To you, but the crew had great potential. It didn't live up to its potential.
Yeah.
The original crew. And I thought when they announced the crew 2, I thought they were going to focus on that fix on what didn't work, on the potential that we promised with the original crew. But it got my attention. It's not my type of game, but it got my attention, got me more excited. And we actually, I bought the crew for Sarah, and she liked it.
Why is it called the crew?
because you can be 4-player and you can drive across the U.S.
But I didn't see any of that in this one.
Well, this is they had 4, but you weren't all in the same vehicle. You can have like 2 in a car,
No,
2
but I
in
thought
a.
it's the king of motorsports, not the kings.
That was one thing
the confusion
that
of what
kind
the
of
hell it
confused
is.
me. I was like,
Because
okay.
there was no gameplay; it was all cinematic. It was a cinematic trailer.
Yeah,
so you don't know
With
what.
that whole Doctor Strange Inception, the world
Yes.
folding on itself.
Oh yeah.
I
I just liked it that there's variety. You can be on a boat, you can be on a plane.
I just wanted to
fly
see
around.
the crew though. Where's the crew?
At the
like
very
this
end.
is my crew.
He had like 6 or 7 vehicles behind him. That's his crew.
That's his crew.
They were all color coded with the red, so
Really?
obviously that's
I
his
thought those were
team
all
colors.
against him.
No, at the very end.
Oh,
Just because he's in front of them, you thought they were chasing him? No, that was a static shot. There was no blur lines. He was standing in front of them.
that and what they ended it with. I know that it was very emotional for them. What was it? Beyond Good and Evil.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Okay.
All right.
Anticipated game. Nobody expected that, but the trailer.
Well, I think they gave up on it. I think it was another Last Guardian where the last 3 or 4 years they were waiting for it.
And that's what it felt like, and I was like, okay, well, the first one had a captivating kind of storyline, but where are they going with this one? And I did see some of the storyline of how do you have these humans with like rhinoceros heads and stuff like that, because there's a lab out there that's testing on people, but I don't know. Like when there was no expecting that. Like when do we expect that? Like
Well, and,
how far
as people
out?
that have played the first
Nothing.
one, it's been a long time. I forgot.
15 years?
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot a lot of the
That's-
story,
I
and
think-
it's apparently it's a prequel.
So,
It's a prequel.
So, like I
yeah,
said
it's a
last
prequel.
night,
Set in a different solar system.
Yes.
it's
we were
not
talking
Beyond Good and Evil. It should just be Good and Evil, and then when you play the sequel, which is the first release, then that's
So-
Beyond Good and Evil.
But they called it Beyond Good
Beyond.
and Evil 2, right?
Beyond.
It was Beyond Good and
Beyond.
Evil 2, so why would you name it number 2?
no IGN references.
Oh,
there. No.
my bad.
So, again, it was confusing. It's not number 2, it's prequel, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But,
So Beyond Good and Evil 0.
hey, we'll go
Why
with
is, it,
that.
why is it in a different universe? I don't get that.
That's...
I never played the first one. Have any of you played the first one?
I did, yes.
Was that on?
Jade's not even in
Was it in
this.
all 3
Yeah.
systems?
It was.
I know it was on
did cross.
GameCube.
It did cross. I did play on PlayStation.
So it was PS2,
No,
Xbox.
I don't think it was on Xbox. I think it was on GameCube originally, and then I got transferred
To
to PlayStation
PlayStation.
because they had a lot of the same
Okay.
coding software,
Okay.
which is why you would see cross-pollination, or usually it would be on PlayStation 2 and it would migrate to GameCube.
Okay.
But Xbox was a different thing.
I just heard it has a cult following. That's all I know. It has a
It's
huge
very
cult
big.
following.
I could be wrong. Maybe I've got
But I don't know if it's one of those games when it has a huge cult following, but when you actually go back and play it, like, what the
No,
fuck?
now it's one of those, it looks very dated and stuff,
Yeah.
but the humor was on point, the relationships, the writing was very good.
Yeah.
And the mechanics were
it was-
good enough that it was interesting, but it wasn't groundbreaking.
It was a very emotional thing for the creators and everything, but I was very confused. I was like, okay, but they said it was a prequel, so why is it number 2? And then where's Jade? Like that was my first.
She's not born yet, is what they said.
Yeah, so she's not born in that. But then I'm like, why call it 2 then?
Well, and here's the other thing. This is why I didn't bring it up, because it is one of those things I've been paying attention to for the last couple of years. He came out maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he flat out said, we're not going to be at E3. We don't have anything. So, hey, good job. You trolled us all. You surprised us.
Yeah.
Do you think that moment would have been any less special if we would have known it was coming? Because you still would feel, as a person, you still feel when he's thanking the team and all that kind of stuff and everybody's support, and it still gets through. It still gets to your heart. You don't need to have the whole, I didn't see that coming, that's what brought the tears. No,
Yeah.
you see the actual admiration and the care and the love he puts into his product. That's what was getting through you. And that's the shit that they don't have in these scripted and YouTuber fucking videos. That was a real moment. This other stuff is, I know, it is very interesting, isn't it, Steve?
Treehouse?
Line?
That's
Moe's Treehouse?
that's how I said. That's
Scripted.
That's why I hate it.
Yeah.
I was indifferent. I know a lot of people were excited to see that trailer, and fucking we'll see it.
But it was confusing, though.
We'll see it in 2019.
Pretty much.
We'll see you in 2019.
Because you don't have experience with the first one. You just see the trailer. What did you think that game is about when you were done watching those, 7 or 8 minutes?
There's a monkey and a pig. I think they have sex. And
No, seriously. What do you think is the story?
I have no idea.
They cross-pollinate.
They cross-pollinate, and then that's how a new breed came out. And then, so one side is the good and one side's the evil.
But what's beyond?
Humans. We've evolved from pigs and monkeys.
Wow, that's a very elitist standpoint. I thought this was a safe space.
Hey, you said I went dark last week. Jeez.
My disappointment would be I wanted more South Park 2. I didn't want a trailer. I want to know why there was a delay. Not you don't need to explain why, but explain the purpose.
They put out some videos.
They did put out some videos, yeah.
But not in the conference, you're right.
Okay.
I think it was once you got out of the conference, the open.
Okay, on the show floor.
On the show floor, yeah.
Okay. But just
Plus,
impressed
they
on
announced the mobile game, too.
South Park actually thought of you when South Park Phone Destroyer.
I'll probably play it, but when they start doing it's only $5 to buy 20 crystals. No, I'm done. Thank you.
But I don't have that much bad to say about the press conference. So I think that's me nitpicking of looking if I had to find something, which I was fine with the trailer. Because they showed last year the gameplay. That was now a year and a half before the game's released. Yeah. I just wanted to see some more. Because I'm still sort of sold on it. Not sure. I'll probably be sold once I hear from you guys with it. But I mean, nitpicking, which I would have saw a little bit from Solid. But again, with the pace that they had, I really enjoyed the press conference. Another surprise was Starlink Battle for Atlas.
That was...
I'm intrigued. I'm not sold like Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones is I'm fucking pumped.
Yeah, exactly.
But the Starlink, I'm intrigued.
Okay,
so how much money do you want to spend on this game?
That's the number one thing that I kept going to. We said, okay, it's innovative and different. It came out, he goes, we want to bring back the toy collection thing, but
they should call that macro transactions.
Yeah, how long is that going to run for, though? That's the same thing as like an
Well, and remember the Disney Infinity?
Yeah.
How that ran for 3 iterations of basically the same thing. And all of a sudden, like, they had just released it, and 2 months later, they're like, yeah, we're done, and we're shuttering that whole division.
Yep.
Or Lego Dimensions is still going, but it's still the first game. It's expansion packs. It's been running for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
I'm just intrigued.
Spyro's kind of done. Amiibos are still going, I guess, but it's a slightly different way it's integrated. So that's part of why it's not its own separate game.
Which I can see indifferent.
It's still dumb, though. It's
which
DLC.
Makes me ask these particular questions just thinking about those ships. I saw every single controller on there. Wasn't there? There was the Xbox, PlayStation.
It's on all systems.
Switch. So if...
How does it even fit on the Switch, though?
But if you had the game on the Switch and I had it on PlayStation... Can I bring my ship over and it wouldn't integrate the same way?
Your ship? Yeah. Maybe.
Like, if I wanted to be like, I want to know how that ship runs before I even buy it. Can I bring that ship over to your house?
The way it's always worked, and I don't know for sure, it's using the same thing, but the way it works is it's basically there's info, like the strip on your credit card or the chip kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That's universal information, but the base is coded for that thing. So if I have the base for Xbox, you got it for PlayStation, you build up your character, your ship or whatever, and you bring the ship over, then you put it on my base or my controller, and it just reads the info that's saved on your little smart device, and then it says, oh, well, Mo's a level 50, whatever.
It can be a complete bomb, which it can go both ways. It can be an interesting experience. I'm just a little intrigued. Want to know more. Another game I'm intrigued is Transference VR.
Okay. That game...
Who knows what the fuck it is? I'm intrigued.
When you said that, I was like, exactly...
Are we even here? Or are we in the game?
Are you watching this?
No, we're in there.
Are you watching this?
Fuck. I'm in there watching me.
Yeah.
If I had hair, I'd fall out right now.
Again, intrigued.
That's weird. I can feel it.
Intrigued.
That's how good this is. I can actually feel that.
Shit. He's actually bald.
And if I were Steve, I'd make it other. Oh my god, he is actually bald.
Rich knows.
Yeah.
I know. Let's clarify. Rich does not know. Rich, from his sense of humor, assumes.
Yeah,
but Rich knows
I'm very bushy
verified.
right now. Rich knows I'm very bushy right now, and that's a fact. He does know.
He's my Merkin donor.
I mean, that's where the game was going, right?
Hey, Rich said he needed some hair, and I'm his supplier.
I was just checking now.
Listen, everybody that's actually met you knows that those are hair plugs
That's it.
on your balls.
That is correct. That is correct.
Oh, I'm dying. Holy shit.
You down with the hair plugs? As Mo died.
Mitch, why the fuck would you say something like that when I'm drinking alcohol?
Because that's the only way that we can take that kind of knowledge.
You motherfuckers drinking alcohol during this?
I'm not.
You do this sober?
What?
I'm still not convinced we're here, so I don't know what you're talking about. I wouldn't hang out with people that are telling me that I have hair plugs on my balls. I don't know what the hell's wrong with you guys. This is bad coding.
No, it was a great time at the doctor. Like, oh, you want hair plugs? Yeah, on my balls. Okay. Well, we can do that for you. So that was a great meeting with my doctor for that.
I just want like the hammer. He's doing to implant each little seed. Chia.
Those were our impressions of the Ubisoft.
That was my impression of the commercial. Yeah, that's right.
Of the chia and hair plugs on my balls.
It's a better demonstration than we got for Assassin's Creed.
The fucking glare. God damn it. Please let us know in the comments below what you felt about the Ubisoft press conference.